Hey, what's up guys, Wallen Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the DC Multiverse. This is the Collect and Connect Lobo series. We got Lobo right here. Usually I do a little video of me putting it together, however I had to play an audible because my Lobo shoulder socket and also the bicep was a little loose, so I had to fix it. I have a video of that already if some of you have seen it, but yeah. Here's Lobo, so let's get into it. He does come with a couple of accessories. First off, he does have his alternative head, which is pretty nice. It kind of reminds me of Roman Reigns, the wrestler, but a little smirk right there. It looks pretty good overall. If you choose to use this, it's still a really nice head sculpt to have. A lot of people had some paint app problems on theirs. Mine's okay. Not, it's not going to be perfect symmetrically, I guess. But he does have a smirk, so this line of his mustache should be going up. I do prefer the one with the goggles on his head. I like that one a little bit better. He also does come with a necklace that I didn't put on yet, which is not bad. Very typical of Lobo to have this as well. Looks pretty good. This is actually soft plastic, so it's pretty durable. And lastly, he does come with a chain, which is really nice. It's a nice metal chain, really long too. At the end of it, you have a ball chain right there, and at the other end, you have a hook. Now, I think this is not metal though, but it's really hard plastic, which is good quality. Also has really nice paint apps as well. Try to zoom in on that. Nice wash on that, a little rugged looking, pretty cool. I do wish he had a crowbar or some kind of gun as well, but you don't get that. But I'm pretty sure you can look through your own bin of supplies and add that yourself. Alright, so here's Lobo up close and personal. He looks pretty good in my opinion. Probably the best Lobo we have ever gotten ever. So this head right here rocks that goggles on top, so his hair's a little bit back. I like how it looks. I like to see more of his face. I think that's because I like how he looks on the Young Justice series where he has hair tied back. I think it looks more updated in my opinion. Going down to the rest of the body, he does have his classic vest right here that is black. It's soft material. You could take it off if you want to do that, but it has a little bit of a shading of blue in there as well, and you do have all these silver accents going around to the rest of the jacket, which is pretty nice. Underneath, he has no shirt on, no tank top. Going down to the rest of the body, he is sporting blue jeans and he's wearing his jockstrap because he is a biker. There is a skull on that belt buckle, if you want to call it that. It looks pretty decent. Not the best sculpting, but it's passable, of course. He is wearing a belt as well. And going down here, he is sporting his shin guards and his classic knee pads that has a little bit of a skull and those red stars, which are pretty iconic for a Lobo. Not complaining, it looks pretty good. Nice paint apps as well. Nice weathering, nice detail. And he's sporting some boots at the bottom with some spikes right there. And here's the back of it. He has some straps. Pretty good overall. Nothing to really complain about. He also has some gloves on with some spikes at the end for nice accents right there. Alright guys, size comparison time. Now I had to start with this because till this day, I am still angry on how this fight went down. If you guys know what I'm talking about, Marvel vs. DC, back in the 90s, you had Lobo versus Wolverine, and it was probably the most disappointing fight of all. But here they are side by side. I like this a lot. Lobo is a lot bigger, obviously, than Wolverine, which is nice. I actually have a little bit of a Marvel vs. DC display in my own house, so I finally could put these two together. But yeah, here they are. Alright, next up right here we have Batman and Superman. This one is sporting the old DC Superheroes Classics body mold. So it's pretty nice size comparison with this. And we had the new Superman Rebirth right here sporting the bigger DC Multiverse body. So he still is a lot bigger. I like the fact that they picked the Master of the Universe body mold for Lobo. So it's a nice size overall. Not too big like that big giant San Diego Comic-Con one we had, but just, good enough to give him some bulk. Next up right here, we had a DC Multiverse Wonder Woman, and we had the Kingdom Come figure from DC Multiverse. Still looks pretty good overall. Next up right here, we have some heavy hitters. We have the Thing from Marvel Legends. We have SH Figure Arts Hulk right there. And yeah, 3 powerful men right here, so it's nice to see how they stack up. Now for another size comparison, we have some Marvel Legend figures right here. We have Captain America and we have Infinity War Thor right there. And a nice size comparison. Lobo and Thor are pretty much the same size and height. Lobo's a little bit bigger, but I like the size comparison right here overall. And for another size comparison, we have the SH Figure Arts Thanos right here, and we have a standard Marvel Legends figure in Deadpool, so a nice size comparison overall. And last right here, we have the rest of the wave from this line, and I like it a lot because in this whole wave, you have a lot of different body modes. So first off, you have these slimmer bodies in Batman and Flash right here. In the back, you have the medium size in Green Lantern, and in the back, you have Superman sporting the little bit bigger mold right there. But overall, everything looks pretty nice and well proportionate. Alright, so taking a look at the other head, you can pop this one right off right there. He has a hinge and a ballpoint right there in the neck of the base. Let's put on the necklace as well, and put the head on. You do have to do some force, it's not like the smoothest transition. Alright, so here he is with his other head sculpt right here. I know some people might like this, a little bit dirtier looking, a little bit more Lobo-esque, if you want to say that. The long hair going down. I do wish actually he had a different head sculpt where his hair is a little bit higher looking, if that makes sense, you know, a little bit more messier. But this is fine too. Alright, so I'm going to switch out the head back to the other one, but also going to take off his vest. You don't really need to take off his head to do it, obviously, because it's not like it's a shirt, but there you go. And let's put on the other head. Now, it could be said there is a difference in shading in the head sculpt and also in the body. The body's a little bit more bluish, while the head's a little bit more white, plain white. It's not that noticeable, especially with the jacket on. It does take away from it a little bit, but the blue shading on the body is there, while the head is white. But then again, not a big deal for me. Alright, so he is basically sporting the Masters of the Universe body mode, so you pretty much know what kind of articulation you get. In the neck joint, as you saw before, he does have a ball joint in there and a hinge at the base, so it goes up pretty decent right there. Goes down, not that bad too, pretty nice. It does go left and right. You can get a little bit of an angle right there too because of the ball joint, so that's pretty nice. At the shoulder, which I had to fix, he does have a hinge in there and a swivel, so it goes all the way around like that. It goes up about that far, not bad at all, pretty standard. He has a bicep swivel as well. One point at the elbow, which is pretty decent, not that bad at all. Got some nice big guns. And at the wrist, he does have a hinge and a swivel, so it's pretty nice right there. Now at the ab joint right here, he does have a hinge, so it goes forward, pretty decent. No complaints at all, goes back a little bit, swivel right there. Alright, so at the hips right here, he does have this soft material right here that's covering his crotch area. It's soft rubber, so it doesn't really hinder the articulation that much, but he does have T-jointed hips overall, so they go about that far up, 90 degrees, no problems there. Goes back a little bit, they do split, it's pretty nice. He actually does have a thigh swivel in there, it's really small, but it's actually there. Over here at the knees, he has one point at the knees. Doesn't quite go 90 degrees, but close enough for him. And at the boot right here, he does have a hinge that goes forward and back, which is nice, and also it swivels. Doesn't pivot though, but it does swivel. So with the basic articulation, you can't get him into decent poses. You shouldn't have a problem right there. Here he is with his chain and his hook. This chain is so long and massive. I probably put it around his wrist right here so many times, and he still have a lot of excess chain right there. They probably could have made it maybe 7 inches smaller, to be honest. I think it would have been fine, but overall, still pretty cool to have. Alright, so overall, this is a pretty nice looking figure. You know, there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to negatives, to be honest. It's pretty good. You know, they went with the old looking style, but classic looking style of Lobo, you know, and it's really hard to veer from that. You know, leather jacket, jeans, boots, that's all you got. You know, you do have different heads, which is nice. I know for myself, I wish his hair was a little bit more messier and higher, but it's still pretty fine. It's not a big deal. You know, the last Lobo figure we got was the DC Direct one a long time ago, which had a very limited articulation. This is very nice right here. Before that, we did have a San Diego Comic-Con one, which is huge. I had it too. I sold it because I didn't know what to do with it. It was like 9 inches tall, something like that, so it didn't fit in with your collection. But this is nice. A nice size looking Lobo for your 6-inch scale figures. And if I had any negatives, I guess it would be the skin tones maybe. You know, I'm just pointing them out, but I really don't care that much about that. I do wish when it comes to accessories weapon-wise, you know, I like this. The hook and the chain is nice, but I do wish he had some blasters. But of course, if you have your own arsenal of weapons, you can easily give him something, which is not a big deal. Articulation-wise is good. Quality control, for me at least, I had to fix the arm because it was a little bit loose in the socket. I think a lot of people has had that problem after I posted that video. A lot of people were commenting saying they had a problem too. So that's probably the worst thing for me with this figure, but I fixed that. So yeah, out of the box could be better, but overall, as a figure as a whole, it's still pretty nice. So yeah, that's about it, guys. This is a great wave, honestly. I like this wave a lot. You have a lot of great figures from this wave. You have Batman Beyond. Finally, a nice Batman Beyond. You have Kyle Green Lantern right here, which, you know, if you weren't able to get the DC Classics one, this is a great alternative right here as well. Of course, you have Kingdom Come Superman, which actually is a really good figure too. And you have new Flash, Kid Flash right here, which looks pretty nice. He looks pretty good too. So, great wave. You only have to collect four figures to make a Build-A-Figure, which is great, opposed to Marvel Legends where you had to buy like 8 or 6. You know, so save some money right there. Alright, so that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. And like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!
That's crispy.